This is Canada. Edmonton, what are you doing? Look. Now people in the sleeping. This is where people are sleeping at this time of the year. Imagine. Look. This is Canada. Really. And I see homeless people live. Homeless people live. This is where they're sleeping. Homeless. So sad, so pathetic.
It's about time we made housing a human right in Canada. People cannot survive outside in a Canadian winter. Not in a tent, and we don't have enough shelters for everybody. The cost of living keeps going up. People are at risk of losing their jobs to AI or automation. So we need to look at this seriously and do something about it now, because it's just going to keep getting worse. Meanwhile, about 7% of residential homes are being held vacant by corporations and property investors to speculate and make a profit on the market. We need to make it unprofitable. We need to start taxing vacant homes at a huge rate. We need to make it no longer legal for corporations to own residential homes. We need to put rent controls in place. Ultimately, we need to make housing a human right and stop treating it as an investment portfolio.
Ontario, we need to speak up right now. Housing is a human right. It is not a privilege for the wealthy. Ontario tenants are about to lose all their rights and no one's talking about it. Our Ontario government is proposing a bill that's giving landlords more power. Even landlords who own multiple homes, while us renters get nothing. Families, single parents, and kids are going to be pushed into smaller, more unstable housing. Oh, and if you can't afford to move, too bad. You're out. So right now is the time we need to speak up.
Just a reminder that while it feels like minus 30 with the wind chill in Toronto today, and there are people literally sleeping and dying on the streets, that homelessness is not like a natural phenomenon that must occur at all times. It's not a byproduct of the economy that should always exist. It's actually a fundamental result of policy choices, and it can actually be solved with money. There are cities in North America and all around the world that have made the public policy choice to actually put money towards solving homelessness, and they've actually accomplished it. We diverted $50 million to increase police funding, but we don't have the money to keep shelters open 24/7 during extreme cold warnings. That's a policy choice. Follow me or don't follow me. I don't really care.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Christmas Eve and personally I hope and believe you are having a great time with family, friends and relatives, and Merry Christmas for those who are celebrating. So Canadians are raising concern. They're saying they are seeing some tents covered with snow in some streets like Ontario. They are seeing the number of homeless people living in tents covered with ice during these winter seasons, and they're literally raising concerns about the increased number of homeless people. I mean, the housing crisis in Canada, they are saying it's getting way out of hands. These people don't have anywhere to go. They opt living into their tent during this harsh weather condition, and apparently Canadians are raising concerns. What is the government doing about it? Because right now, as a normal Canadian, to afford a house in Canada is now a dream. Like, it is nearly too impossible for some Canadians who are working part-time jobs, and the number of homeless people increasing, well, it is literally skyrocketing. And now they are witnessing heartbreaking scenes at their streets, at their town, at their back street, with too many tents covered with snow. And in this video, Canadians are raising their concerns and pouring their outrage. And let's see what they had to air about this housing crisis in Canada. Then we shall be sharing our 2 or 3 opinions at the end.
One thing I can't stand about the housing crisis in Canada is politicians pretending that they're trying to fix it. Because they're not. Like, we all know they're not. They're trying to keep the crisis, which is high housing crisis, going for as long as they can. And every step they've ever taken has confirmed that. Every step they're like, no, we're making it more affordable, is just to pump more people, more cash, more liquidity, bail out developers, like, it's all stuff that would make housing, the cost of housing go higher, and it has. We've reached a tipping point in Canada now where the only growth in this economy has been through immigration, through largely low wage jobs. And housing is just so expensive. We're cramming like 14 people into apartments in Toronto, and so they can work at Tim Hortons. Like, that's the economy now. That's what we're doing. And it's just, so it's just this is what it's for. This is the Minister of Housing even said, no, the cost of housing can't come down. But it's at crisis levels now. People can't afford it. People can't afford to fucking live. And so, like, are wages going to come up? Well, you're bringing more people into the country. Well, I mean, they have stopped that down, because finally people got so pissed at them. Are wages going to come up to where we can afford $1 million? I mean, you could just say housing is never going to be affordable, but it's fine. It's just like, just stop pretending like you're trying to fix it. You're not. No, I see you. I fucking see you, dude. Just, you know, I'm so sick of it. Oh, we got to fix it. Okay. That's not what you're trying to do, though. Just say the fucking truth, man.
How the fuck does this make any sense? The Liberal government just staged a whole fake village. Literally fake houses, fake setup to fool Canadians that they're solving the housing problems. An MP candidate went in person to check it out, and guess what? There is nothing there. No real homes, no real project. Just props and photo ops. They line up construction workers in front of shells and called it a housing announcement. That's not leadership. That's a scam. And while Mark Carney is playing Hollywood setup like it's some kind of a movie, billions of our tax dollars are being thrown around. TRA takes money from your paycheck every single pay, every single business deal, and instead of them fixing the housing crisis, that money circles right back into the pockets of the same people in power. Meanwhile, Canadians are struggling to keep food on the table. Families cannot pay rent. Homeless numbers are exploding. And the best our government can do is build a fake backdrop to fool you into thinking they care. This is beyond insane, and if you still think that the people in power have your best interests at heart, wake the fuck up. They don't care about you, they care about their pockets, and while billions are being funneled into their pockets, Canadians are getting poorer by the day. So tell me, how the fuck does this make any sense? Share this with every Canadian you know. Stop swallowing the photo ops. Stop believing the same people that are bleeding you dry.
Yep, we're in a bubble. Sell everything. We are in an absolute calamity of a situation. 2026 is going to be a bloodbath. If people think that housing prices are going to rebound in the next 6 months, they are off their rockers. I am seeing so many sharp declines that haven't been seen since 1989. And we all know that in 1989, the recovery took 6 years, 7 years. 1996 is when prices came back to the same price values of 1989. We are in for something that the city has not seen before. I don't wish ill upon anyone. However, if you're holding off on selling your house until next year, I think you're making a mistake. Cut your losses. This is a great opportunity for someone who otherwise couldn't get into the market to get into the market. That's on the flip side. But please be careful.
Since no one wants to fucking say it, I will be the one to say it. We have a major homelessness problem in Toronto, and no one seems to give a fuck. No one seems to care. The government is not doing shit about it. Have you noticed how many homeless people are at Union Station? And Union Station is where we have all of our games, all like the stadiums or whatever. The CN Tower is here. So all of the tourist destination, all the tourist attractions are all at Union Station. So imagine how surprised these people are to come to Toronto, and you know, we're the six, like, you know, we're all fucking so goated out here, and that's the first thing they see. I am so like blown away by yes, I'm getting angry, by like the lack of care and empathy and, that's coming from our government. Why is no one doing anything about this? And for those who want to say there's homeless shelters, they can go to homeless shelters, they are fucking full. Like, this is literally one Google search away, okay? If you search up how many beds are available in the GTA, the answer will be very, very close to zero. I don't understand where the tax dollars are going. I don't know. We're just spending our money on stupid fucking shit. Like, I've lived in so many places in my life, and I've never seen anything like this. And I've been here for a while, and I just saw how it all just, went downhill.
Housing needs to become a human right in Canada. Somebody freezing to death on the side of the road is not going to make your life more affordable. And if you're worried about the taxes, your tax money already props up corporations that buy up as many houses as they can, hold on to them to drive speculation, and sell them at a profit. And you're okay with that. But you're not okay with housing homeless people, despite the fact that Finland proved it is cheaper to house homeless people than to pay for all the management, the shelters, the food banks, the police, the courts, the jails. And what else happened? People got better. They fixed their mental health. They went to addictions counseling. And this is what we need to be doing in Canada. And you know what? We can afford to do that because we can put a vacancy tax on all of these empty houses the corporations are holding. And then the ones who are causing the problems can be the ones who fix the problem, not just the general taxpayer. And I'm sorry, but this is just cheaper, more humane, and definitely more Canadian.
I always say this is the work of the government. This is not the work of Canadians. The government should literally consider putting Canadians first. How can they put Canadians first? By building in more houses or decrease the number of immigrants that are coming into the country. Because let's be real, if we allow in more immigrants, where are they coming to live? They are coming to live in these houses that are already built in Canada. Canada is allowing in more immigrants and not building in more houses to hold these immigrants. It means that Canadians have to share these houses with immigrants. It means that the Canadians who cannot afford these houses will opt living into their car or end up being homeless. For Christ's sake, it's winter, and you all know the weather in Canada is not favorable for anyone to sleep on a tent during this winter in Canada. It is too harsh. People are getting soaked. People are getting, they are freezing. And Canadians, when they raise this concern, as I always say, if it was 1, 2, or 3 Canadians, well, we could have just said maybe they are just against the Liberal government or something like that. But many Canadians are realizing that, wait a minute, this number of homeless people in our streets is skyrocketing. What is not really happening? The government is telling Canadians that they are solving this housing crisis. But apparently, they are solving it with fake projects. You've seen that young man over there confessing this. They are creating fake projects so that they can convince Canadians that we are actually building more houses. But literally, this is not the case. Canadians are seeing people. And apparently, the shelter that is available for these homeless people during this winter season is not enough. So some of them who are not lucky, they end up freezing on the cold. They end up freezing because it's winter on their tents. Their tents are getting actually soaked. And it's so heartbreaking. So Canadians are literally raising concern about this housing crisis. They are calling out the government to at least make it a human right. Yeah? A basic need, because to afford a house in Canada right now, it's super, super expensive, and it's becoming now a privilege for some. I think there should be a right for any Canadian. But you do tell me in the comment section, guys, what do you think is the solution of this housing crisis in Canada? Because Canadians are saying housing crisis in Canada is becoming a pandemic that needs emergency, a pandemic that needs total attention from the government side, because some Canadians can't afford these houses. They end up sleeping in their car. They end up being homeless. They end up being vacated from their homes because they can't pay rent, which is super, super expensive. Some of them, they end up and run out of options and opt to be homeless and end up freezing during this winter season. And this housing crisis is becoming a pandemic in Canada, and Canadians are raising concern. You do tell me what you think about this in the comments, and see you in the next video. And Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.